Hey guys, it's Eric here with Sacred Forge Healing, here for your weekly reading for May 4th through the 11th. So we're going to go ahead and kind of get into some cards first. So, before that, so there's going to be, the energy of this week is a kind of a reclamation of speaking. So this can show up for you in like finally letting out that emotion that you've been holding on to or needing to express. This is also in a form of expression that's going to be popping up for this week. So this could be reclaiming within yourself something that you have not wanted to claim for yourself. This can show up in many different forms, but this is going to be taking back that acceptance of yourself and different aspects of who you are that you might not have liked. Yes, this is a process that can change and shift as you go forward, but there is this reclamation of self that is happening in this week, a reclamation of self-expression. So then you might see this as well as like how you interact with people, how you express your authenticity for yourself, be that just fully embracing who you are and just doing it. And yes, that'll be for some of you guys. I feel like a good majority of you who are watching this have already gone through this radical acceptance phase. But there's still more that's coming through for you. So there's still aspects of yourself that you've not liked that are coming forward to be accepted. So this can also show up as a form of shadow work as well. Let's see what other messages we have for this week of May 4th through the 11th. Also, happy Cinco de Mayo. Let's see here. So there also feels like a need for movement or exercise to help you get yourself into, to balance the energies and let go of some things. I'm like seeing like volleyball coming up for some of you. More than one. This is coming up for multiple of you. You're thinking about going into a sport of some kind that you've done in the past, that it's like wanting to get back out there and do it. So let's go further into our messages this week. Let's see what we have here. So we have the Six of Earth. It says gifts of money, time, or effort, new career opportunities, receiving a loan, or paying off all debts. So for here, we have kind of this weighing effect going on of the physical, yes, receiving those things, but this feels like it's more than just that. This is the weighing of the heart. Like, are you willing to fully express your being in this way? And there are fears that come up around that for sure, right? Sometimes we feel like people aren't ready for who we are, or like for us to allow ourselves to express the way that we want to or need to. And the thing that I'm feeling is like most people just don't care. It's something that you have put up as such a big thing. It's like people just don't care. People just don't care. That's like the big feel for it. It's like you can be who you are. And now, yes, there's some people who might be a little more vocal, but it's still like they don't really care for that. But it does feel like we have some strong earth energies going on this week of like getting yourself more in the body and allowing that acceptance to fully come through. Now, this can also show up as like something sexual as well for yourself, where you're accepting more about who you are, shall we say. So we have new career opportunities coming forth with this first card, and then our second card has to do with fear about money, which is very interesting. We have the Five of Earth. It says fears surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, and uncertain self-employment. So this week, right, we've already mentioned a little bit about the fears that can come up for us as we are going through this phase of radical acceptance. Now, I actually want to feel a little bit more into this. Now, I love that we have this fun progression. So I just pulled this card as well. We have the Four of Earth. So we have 4, 5, and 6. And kind of going backwards here, actually. It feels like, you're afraid that if you do go into this phase of acceptance, that you're actually stepping back rather than stepping forward into what you're doing next. And that's the difference, right? Like we have here, the Four of Cards says being too frivolous or too cautious with money, good business decisions, giving to those less fortunate. So we have giving in two of these things. One is receiving, one is giving that gift. But we do have that fear card that comes up. So I feel like this is the big thing that's keeping us from moving forward as easily as we could have. And these are very old fears. Very, very old fears. Take a look at this temple that we have here in this card. I mean, this reminds me of, the ancient pyramids in South America and stuff of that nature, where it's like these things are ancient. And these are things that can, well, in terms of those, right, we want to honor that, but we can let go of these fears. They're not rational at this point. Yes, actually. Okay, so we really do have a lot of earth energies going on this week. I wanted to kind of look more into the completion of this cycle right here. So we have the Queen of Earth. So it feels like this is kind of an embodiment of who we're all trying to step into at this time. Now, not every single person is going to be doing this. There's some of you who are meant to be on that other side, that a little bit more masculine, more... it's nurturing in a different way. But so we have the Queen of Earth. It says thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach. Deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. So if you do have those people who come up who are challenging your authenticity, shall we say, go about it in a kind and mild manner. Yes, you might feel like you want to do something like that, but that is not advised for sure. Like, deal with it in that creative manner. See what other options exist for you as you're going through this phase of radical acceptance. That's what I'm probably, that feels like the biggest theme that we have going on here. But so our last card that we have here, kind of not the challenge, but something that's kind of being highlighted more this week. So we have the Page of Fire. So outgoing, creative, confident, and mischievous. Fun. All right, it says news of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. So really, we do have that authenticity coming up for us. Being creative in who we are and allowing ourselves to accept that, right? Accept that we can be creative, that we can be all these manners of things that, that we are. But going through this phase of radical acceptance is important for everyone, right? We want to, kind of pawn it off and say, oh no, I can't do anything like that. We keep telling ourselves these stories of whether we can or can't. But, if this is part of who you are, now, of course, not hurting people. Let me say that. Let me be clear. We're not talking about hurting people or doing anything like that, but we're talking about just being who we are meant to be in this life. Whether that means you are, the tech guru guy who just likes certain things and you feel ashamed of it. Take the shame away. That's not a good vibration to feel into and to express. Now, I say that as if it's easy. No, it can be, but it's most of the time not. So this week we're going to be taking a look at the guilt, the shame, and the acceptance that needs to go on within ourselves, and that's going to be highlighted this week. So take some chances, allow yourself to feel and to express in the way that you need to and that you want to. That way you are showing up even more authentically in your life every day. So kind of our last card, never mind, not our last card. I think they want some cards of surrender that's coming up. So our card here is the Wheel, as we go through this phase of radical acceptance. So a time of positive change, a situation that suddenly moves forward, fortune is on your side. right? So through being ourselves, we're able to bring more in for ourselves, be that money, people, abundance, however you see those things. But this phase of radical acceptance is necessary, right? This is something that, we have to accept more about ourselves. We need to give ourselves and feed ourselves the love that we might not get from other people. It is time to accept who we are so that we can move and do what we came here to do. As we accept ourselves, we are able to move forward. So I want to pull, they're saying 3 cards from the Power of Surrender. So we have 3 cards here, or we will have 3 cards here, to kind of highlight our journey as we're going through this phase of radical acceptance. Okay. So we have surrender to success, surrender to the beauty of the natural world, and surrender frustration. So surrender success as you are ready to experience abundance, which we have so much earth here this week. It's if we surrender into our authenticity, magical things will be happening. And no, this is not just a 1 week kind of gig, right? This is as we step into that authenticity, that authentic version of ourselves, so much can shift, right? You are ready to experience abundance. Don't look back at previous roadblocks or difficulties. Leap into an exciting new world of possibilities, which that's where we're headed. Going through this phase of acceptance, important. So as we're going through this radical acceptance, we also have surrender to the beauty of the natural world. Take a relaxing break and spend time in nature, replenish yourself by feeling the beauty and the ecstasy there. So as we're going through this change, if you're having those moments of feeling out of whack, that's going to be part of the up leveling and the upshifting, right? When we make this conscious decision to be true to our authenticity, that's going to shift our whole vibration. So you might have some things that rock you off a little bit, but that's everything that's just coming up for you to be up leveled. So when you're doing, or when you have that moment, because as you do go through this phase, most of you will have that. Not all of you. Lucky for some of you guys. But as you're going through it, make sure you're spending plenty of time outdoors as best you can. Whether that's, putting your back to a tree and or hugging a tree, go put your feet on the ground, go walk through nature. If you can't do that, hug a potted plant. Still earth, some might say different, but still earth. So use what you can. You can also use guided meditations to connect yourself down to Mother Earth as well. But it's time to get connected to here. That makes sense. So, yeah, it's time to get connected to here and now on this planet. Period. Mic drop. But we do have one more card. So surrender frustration. So frustration does not open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or dissolving a block is to take a breath, center yourself. Right? Nature. Surrender yourself. Center yourself and regroup so that you may approach the situation more calmly. So again, if something does come up that challenges your authenticity, it's not about being, I want to throat punch somebody. No violence. No violence here. But it's taking that step back to get yourself centered. That way you can go from a version of I'm going to react to I'm going to respond. And those things are very different, right? Reacting is that feeling of like something happens. It's that act of reacting to it. It's like we're always behind. We're not even thinking about what we're doing. We're just doing it. And then responding allows us to have the grace to change what we might say that might be hurtful into something that's still gets the point across, but isn't as biting, right? And so make sure you do take those steps back when that does happen for you guys this week. So I hope this has been helpful. If you want to have a private reading with me or an energy healing session, I do those online as well. I'm also at the Bag Lady in Charlotte on Wednesdays from 12 to 4 if you want to come see me in person. I would love for that. So I hope you guys have an amazing day, an amazing week, and again, happy Cinco de Mayo. I will see you next week. Bye for now.